Hey everybody, just an update. So this update's actually gonna be a little different. It's more of an opinion piece. Obviously, with WrestleMania looming just a couple days down around the corner. Right now it is April 13th, and of course WrestleMania starts on the 19th and 20th. And of course I think Mattel announced they have a booth or something like that. So as you know, the Elite 20 or Ultimate 26 Series 26 is card to come into stock. So obviously my custom Drew McIntyre is now obsolete. It's still good if you don't want if you don't want drop down hips, but you can see there's no chest hair, and it did a great job while it did. So I can't wait for that to come out. But one thing I've been noticing is, I mean, we're getting lots of Jey Uso, we're getting a lot, we're getting a Jimmy Uso, which is cool. Um, but one guy who has kind of been absent from anything, even Elite, I think was like a while back, was Sheamus. Now, the problem with Sheamus is that you can't just make a custom Sheamus Ultimate if you want to because the skin tone. So he'll be on the series here very shortly, but here is Ultimate Sheamus Custom. And as you can see, he had to be really painted. Unfortunately, see that? Some paint has chipped away. Um, and I feel like Sheamus deserves an Ultimate. I mean, if you compare him with Drew McIntyre, he's won world titles too. He's been WWE champion more than Drew has. He beat Cena his first go around in that tables match, and then I think he became champion again somewhere along the way. And then of course he became champion when he beat Roman Reigns when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract. He's been multiple world heavyweight champion. He's been tag team champion, United States champion. I think the only thing he's lacking is the Intercontinental, which we were seeing him kind of pursue Braun Breaker, and I don't know if he got injured or what, but you haven't seen him do anything since. And the cool thing about the Ultimates is that again you have that that side movement here, so that you can see it's very stiff because again it's painted, and you can see the paint difference there. So that's unfortunate. You can see right there's a paint difference. So it's great for posing, but I feel like with the butterfly joints he can do that Bill that what is it 10 beats to the Bowery. I feel like he's more articulate with some of his move sets. I mean, obviously he picks up people and lifts them and then drops them that way with whatever white noise moves. I haven't seen a lot of his moves in a while. I mean, obviously the brogue kick is there too. So he's somebody who I feel like Mattel has just been kind of like not wanting to do, and I feel like he deserves an Ultimate. Um, Obviously, if there was a guy pasty enough, and then of course, obviously I made him really, really ripped. You probably could go with like a Gunther type body or whatever it is. By today's standards, I think he's getting back in better shape. He did come back kind of bulky, but he's been trimming down, getting better, and of course he still has great matches, even with his injury, his neck problems. But well, it's cool to see Drew get an Ultimate finally. I feel like Sheamus deserves one as well in the future. Maybe we'll see one prototype. Maybe there's a discussion of it because you could put him with the WWE Spinner Belt. You could put him with the World Heavyweight Belt. Those are the two belts that he won back in the day. And the World Heavyweight you don't see as much anymore because they're leaning towards the newer stuff as well. You could put him with the King of the Ring crown even. I mean, he did win the King of the Ring. You could put the cape. So as far as like cloth accessories, I know he kind of just has like a T-shirt or has like a cross. So there's tons of stuff you could do with him. It's just the reason I feel like he needs one is because the skin tone is too unique. To match his legs, I had to find, Cujo had to find a very, very pasty paint, and he does a great job. But again, it's chipping, and that's unfortunate that happened. I mean, obviously for play it wouldn't work because it would chip away, and then he looks like he's got leprosy starting here. So that's just my opinion on it. Feel free to leave a comment or whatever. I do appreciate now the 100 or 317 subscribers now. Moving along. Hopefully you're enjoying the series. Sorry I canceled the Fig Fed stuff. I might bring that back one day, but I mean, at the time of recording right now, I've been selling off a lot of the custom belts just because I've got other things I have to do. I have to try to get a house before too long. I'm not getting any younger. So anyway, that's my opinion on Sheamus. If you disagree, of course, somebody also says Miz, deserves an ultimate. I think they do. I think guys who are former world champions definitely do. Nothing against Jimmy and Jey Uso, but they've already had. Jay's had already an ultimate. Now what? 3 Jimmy's now in his second. What about former WWE champions? I mean, we've had Cena with 4 now. We need other guys. Like, let's expand that roster a little bit. I think Sheamus. I think Miz. R-Truth would be kind of cool. I mean, obviously he wasn't world champion. I understand that, but definitely start expanding that roster a little bit more to the Ultimate, especially if they have like accessories we can build with it. Maybe I'm just in the select minority here about the people who say they like Ultimates, people who don't like Ultimates. I like the Ultimates because again they're very articulate. You can pose them better than you could with an Elite or definitely a Basic, or sorry, Core as they call them now. And I feel like he can just he could do way better. With the arms back here, you can't do it with an Elite. You can't get the arms way back there like that. Like, it just doesn't happen. And then you got literally the beats of the Balrog right there, where just because of butterfly joint. Again, this one not so much because it still sticks because it's custom. It's but it's cool concept to me. Hopefully we see some new guys. They start expanding a little bit more. I know we're getting Logan Paul again. And I know that we're going to be getting a CM Punk, which is fine. He needs a modern version, but definitely don't overlook the former world champions that are still active on the roster. Losing Edge, with the standard basic. I wouldn't say basic, but I guess the before Ultimate articulation kind of hurt because now you don't get a chance. You have to customize one if you want the butterfly joints and the non-weird Ken super ripped tiny torso. So hopefully people are in Mattel's ear. Hopefully they'll see that when they ask who do you want to see made, hopefully people give Sheamus a vote because I feel like if I could customize them without having to do the paint on the torso, I wouldn't care. But the fact that you have to literally paint and then hope it doesn't chip like it did here, it can get luckily I'm not too worried about because it's covering the back, and if I'm posing him in a display case, he's only going to be seen in the front. But still, I think Sheamus deserves an Ultimate. That's my opinion on that. Meanwhile, I will be posting. Obviously, I'll be adding him to the count up to 500 or 600, excuse me, as well very shortly. You got a sneak peek of somebody who hasn't been shown yet. I think I already talked about the Drew, but Drew's got a standard Mattel Ultimate coming. Currently, a few more names have been added to the Ultimate roster list. La Parka. And who was the other one? Oh, Rip Oliver. And I'm even looking at Kelly Kaninsky, which I think is Gene Kaninsky's son, to add some more old school flavor. As it is right now, I haven't reached out to Tom to commission anybody else. Right now, Jackson Riker is off being made, or being finished up, put together, and Riddick Moss. Those guys. I sent the box off a couple days ago. Cujo's sending me a overnight box here very shortly that has 40 plus Ultimate customs in it. So I'll be putting those together. Getting the mod or not getting the sticky tack to put the heads on there so they're firm on there, and of course add into the countdown. Like I said, I'm not doing so many in advance anymore. I'm doing maybe 1 week of stuff ahead of time. That way we can stay a little more relevant. So that's going to be happening, and I just got done posting until I think next Tuesday stuff. So then of course I'll have my WrestleMania opinion, and it's going to keep going that way. It is going to start to as far as massive new people is going to dwindle down because right now I'm making a giant push for the summer, with summer picking up here very shortly. That's when all my jobs are 2 of my jobs get kaput because they're only seasonal school years, but my driving job picks up greatly, and my other job is consistent, stays the same. So that's usually when I bank my 30 to 40 grand in those 3 months, and using that to pay off the last bit of my small debt and credit card so I can finally get a house, finally, start my goal of moving my little brother's family out to the country, get a nice house, sit on a porch. The girl I was planning to, start trying to build a life with just turned out to be a nightmare more than anything. So if she sees this, I tried doing everything I could to help you. I got you a job, did all this cool stuff for you. You friend zone me. I accepted the friend zone, but then you blocked me because I accepted the friend zone. I don't get it. So, apparently I'm ugly and out of shape. So, I don't know what an in shape, handsome man is supposed to look like by your standards. But keep enjoying those drugs, I guess. Anyway, let's leave it at that. Check back, of course, probably in a week or two. Obviously, more videos will be showing up. Obviously, the customs will be arriving. Lots of people from Japan, some people from Mexico, some conversions, some complete overhauls, and of course, my thoughts and opinions on how WrestleMania went and what new figures we saw and what new people I get to tear apart or I get to sell off the custom version of if they actually do release a Sheamus. Because believe me, if they do announce one, I probably will be putting this one up on Macari. So, thanks again to the people who are subscribing. Thanks to the comments. Stay tuned, of course. I know I see comments sometimes saying, "Hey, how'd you build this guy?" Because I saw your Instagram, you took a photo of it. I don't usually share the formulas, obviously, until the formula show. But sometimes I make it obvious. Like for instance, if you've watched the Axiom, I posted a Facebook about 3 days ago before I made the video this week, and it was a simple Flair torso. An Ultimate Flair torso gave you a converted Axiom Ultimate style. So, until next time.